Welcome to the space. Welcome to the space. Come on and ride, baby, ride.
Well, hello and good day to all of you wonderful viewers out there. Hi, I'm Awesome Joe, and thank you guys so much for taking in the time of your day to watching another episode of Awesome Joe's Play Back-to-Back Movie Reviews. And today we're going to be reviewing the movie that we've been waiting 25 years in the making, because there have been so many sequels that have been asked to be put into development, but never has happened until now. Space Jam: A New Legacy. The last movie that came out, the first original Space Jam movie, was in 1996, and that was starring, of course, Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny. Excuse me. And just to give you guys a heads up, before I forget, even though this movie was just released on Friday, and today's Sunday, so please bear with me for the fact that it takes me a while in order to get these movie reviews put into development. I have a life too, you guys, so give me a chance, okay? But I'm always trying to put my reviews first. I just have so many other different priorities. I am a very responsible and busy man, but these movie reviews are a huge inspiration to me. It's a great personal hobby of mine, and I love doing them, and I love sharing what I want to talk about when it comes to these movies with you wonderful viewers out there. So let me go ahead and bring this up before I forget that even though this movie it just came out, and the fact that it took me a while to go ahead and do this, it's just the fact that this movie is going to contain spoilers, because I really don't have any time to be working on a non-spoilers review and a spoilers review, and there's just so much when it comes to these movies that I just want to talk about, and I just don't have the time to be doing two separate videos. I mean, there's just so much that's going on in both movies and on TV. So right now, like for example, I took the chance to go ahead and talk about Space Jam: A New Legacy, when I also, in fact, this weekend went ahead and watched the Forever Purge. And that movie has been out for already, what, a good 2-3 weeks now? So like I said, bear with me here, you guys. It's been a very, very busy time of the year, you know, since theaters are reopening and people are coming back into the theaters, watching these awesome big movies on the big screen once more again with the big tub of popcorn and soda. So please, everybody, just please bear with me here. I'm doing my best. I'm a one-man working person when it comes to these movie reviews. So, and I really want to make it up to the best perfection as I can possible for everybody to have a good and fun, entertaining time. So here we go, you guys. Space Jam: A New Legacy. The first one, like I said before, starred Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny. So this one, we are getting not Michael Jordan this time, but modern-day basketball star LeBron James. Let me go ahead and be very clear and specific about this. One, I don't have nothing against the basketball sport. I don't watch it. That's the problem. I don't watch it. I don't know anything about basketball. It does seem like a very entertaining and fun sport. Like I said, I have nothing against it. It's fun getting to watching it when it's involved in a movie such as Space Jam. But also, when 96's Space Jam first came out and Michael Jordan was going to star in it, even though his acting was completely terrible, it was fun getting to see him in that movie. And I knew who Michael Jordan was. That's the thing. I didn't watch basketball, but I was aware of this basketball star. And he markets himself out there. He's a really I never met the man personally, but just getting to judging off of the way I've seen him in both film and in the sports world, I could honestly tell that this individual, Michael Jordan, is a really good guy. So now we're going into the world of where LeBron James is now king of the basketball world. Since I believe Michael Jordan has retired. It would have been really cool if we did get a Space Jam 2 that involved the return of Michael Jordan, which we'll get a little bit into that here later on. Oh man, I can't wait to talk about that. But yes, LeBron James is in this. Was I excited to see that this sports star was going to be in this movie? Not necessarily. No, not in the way that I felt that, because in the first Space Jam, I don't like to compare the original with this modern day version. I don't like to compare them because I like to make it its own review, keeping it away from all of its other comparisons, so that way it could just be its own film. But I just wanted to go ahead and make a point clear about this, is that what drew my attention to the first Space Jam was, yes, of course, the Looney Tunes, but it was the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan teaming up together. This wasn't just starring Michael Jordan. No, it had nothing to do with just Michael Jordan. It had to do with Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny, and the Looney Tunes. And, of course, including a few other basketball stars and some other co-starring roles. This one was only LeBron James. Do I find that he is a little selfish in that arena? I don't know if that's his responsibility or not. I don't know if he was the one that intakes of that filmmaking decision. But he's in this, and the majority of it is based onto him. Like in the original, you had Wayne Knight, Bill Murray, so many others that I can't really name off the top of my head here. But it would have been great getting to seeing some other stars co-starring into this movie. Speaking of, we got Don Cheadle in this movie playing Algorithm, which is an algorithm, an AI algorithm that works, that is a program for the Warner Brothers Studios. And actually, in fact, that is what Warner Brothers does. They depend on an AI program that determines the decisions of what movie in particularly that the studios would want to put a movie into development. So I think that was pretty interesting, and knowing that it's a given fact that something like this does exist in our actual world here. And Don Cheadle, I think that he's a great actor. I think that he does really well. Nowadays, everybody knows him as War Machine in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then, so whenever we see him, we're like, oh, hey, look, there's War Machine. But Don Cheadle, besides being War Machine, is a really great, brilliant actor. I think that he does a tremendously well job. There's a certain scene in the film that I felt like he was a little too villainous, that he felt like, you know, the acting was a little overboard. I didn't feel connected. I felt like this movie was going to be too cheesy with that type of acting. But then I just started to seeing that it started to progress a little bit more better. That I felt like, okay, I can actually see and tell that this is the villain of the film. He's not like what Danny DeVito was in the first, even though he had a very small role into the movie. But Don Cheadle was the actual villain. You don't really put much focus on the opposing team, which is the Goon Squad, opposing to what the Monstars were in the first film. It really does put a lot more focus on the Don Cheadle villain character, and I actually quite liked it. But I really felt like there should have been more of a personal characterism towards the opposing team, rather than just them being the evil basketball players. And so, like in the first film, I didn't even know this until I found out that the lifestyle and the family that Michael Jordan had in the first film, the wife, the kids, the dog, the house, the lifeism, all of it, wasn't really his actual life. He's playing himself, but not in the life that he actually lives. And so when getting to watching this movie with LeBron James, I'm like, okay, so this is not his actual wife, which is the character Savannah, played by Sonequa Martin. I know, because I've seen her in The Walking Dead, so I'm just like, nah, this can't be LeBron James' wife, actual wife. So this is just an actress playing the character. And then you get Cedric Joe playing his son, Dom James, which is a character that him and his dad in the movie, LeBron James, going up against each other because LeBron James is like that tough dad, he's a basketball star, so he wants the same for his kids, the way that he was coached and brought up into the world of basketball, and now he wants the same for his children. Excuse me. And this character, his son, Dom, has his eyes on a different perspective. He has his eyes on another direction of being a video game designer, which is really cool because I liked at the beginning of the movie, you get not the introduction, but the glimpse of the original Game Boy, and I had one of those, and it was fun just getting to seeing it, and I miss those Game Boys so much. And I'm not even a video game player, not at least within modern day video games. I'll be honest, I used to play a lot of Game Boy back in the day, a lot to where I had to buy so many AA batteries to replace the Game Boy, including my CD player. So there was no chargers back then, so you would always have to buy constant batteries to keep this baby going. So, and then when the battery would die, you'd be like, no, I'm like at the top level and the batteries had to die. So that would really freak me out. And then compared to that, which was back in I think it said in '98 when LeBron James was a kid, just like how the first Space Jam movie started off with Michael Jordan as a kid, and then getting that montage of his life being a basketball star, which I think that I'll talk more about it, but the soundtrack to this movie is not really as memorable as I love the soundtrack to the original Space Jam movie. But within modern day video gaming, from the original Game Boy all the way to Nintendo Switch, so you just see how advanced the technology of video gaming has advanced very highly. So it's great getting to seeing that. And so you got these two, the father and the son, who don't see eye to eye, and Don Cheadle brings them into the computer world, and Don Cheadle is which of course his character is Algorithm, challenges LeBron James into a game of basketball, and if he wins, he gets to keep LeBron James into his world forever, and along with his son. But if LeBron James wins the basketball game, then him and his son can go free. So there's your movie. There's your story. Do I like it? It's okay. It's not very high, but I like the idea as to how they came up with this particular storyline. I find it not as a sequel to the first film. I find it as its own movie, kind of like a rebooted version of the first film, a more updated, rebooted version of the first film. I really do see it. It's still a sequel, don't get me wrong. It is still a sequel, but I really did like it. And then in the movie, you get Jeff Bergman, who does the voice of Bugs Bunny. LeBron James is brought into the rejected world of the Looney Tunes world, and he gets to meet Bugs Bunny. And Bugs Bunny is the only one. Like I said, this movie, the review is going to have spoilers, so I'm going to be talking about a lot of spoilers here. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, it's on HBO Max right now. Go and check it out, and it's out in movie theaters right now. So check it either way. I would prefer to go and watch it in the theaters. It's a lot more fun and entertaining, especially being around a crowded audiences. I'd say, just be careful. If you want to wear your masks, wear them. If you are vaccinated, that's awesome. So just stay careful when you're out there in the movie theaters. My point is that it's great getting to watching a really cool, entertaining movie, especially a movie such as this, for families to go and have fun. Because I find that the first Space Jam was really fun to watch. I didn't get to see it in theaters, but I did get to see it on VHS, and it was a really fun movie. The Fast movie, the time of the movie was like, an hour and 30 minutes? And the basketball game was like maybe 30 minutes tops. But with this movie was about close to 2 hours, and you got an hour of story development, character development, and then you get the other hour of the basketball game. So it's like this was actually a pretty bigger movie than what the first one had in store for us. But anyways, I'm always getting off topic here because there's just so much that I want to talk about here that I always get off track. But yeah, Bugs Bunny and LeBron James are going off and trying to find trying to recruit for their basketball team, their team for the basketball game. You get voice talents of Gabriel Iglesias, who is the comedic stand-up comedian playing Speedy Gonzalez. Oh my God, I would not have known that was Gabriel Iglesias if I wasn't told that. You know, it's just he does really good at doing the voice. I mean, you can honestly tell that. Then you get Zendaya playing Lola Bunny. I mean, it's just really great. You get returning Looney Tune characters like Daffy Duck, Granny. Daffy Duck is actually playing the coach this time instead of being the player. Sylvester, Tweety, Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam, Porky Pig, Goss Mammer. You get the Road Runner and the Wile E. Coyote. I mean, they're all here. They're all back. And not saying and. Like the first film only dealt with just the Looney Tunes within the Looney Tune world, and now this thing expands itself. Instead of it being just a basketball game between Looney Tunes and cartoon aliens, now you're getting the entire Warner Brothers distribution of characters that Warner Brothers has developed throughout the decades. Against this computer AI program Algae Rhythm and his band of players created by LeBron James's son, who, like I said, is a video game designer and designs this basketball game. And you get so much Warner Brothers nostalgia, Easter eggs throughout the entire movie. I mean, it's unbelievable out of everything that's thrown into the film. And it gives you a lot of good, quick references of what you remember back in Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One back in 2018. And it feels very much like that. I think that Warner Brothers has a really great, huge amount of characters that they developed throughout the decades that it's great just throwing them all into one film and getting audiences excited and just pointing out, oh, hey, look at that character. Oh, hey, look at that character. Oh, hey, look at that character. Hey, I remember him. I remember her. I mean, it's just like, whoa. I could not believe that they actually did this. This is really cool. Got worlds that pop up, you know, like Casablanca, Wizard of Oz. I'm going to read off the list here. Harry Potter world, Game of Thrones. You get the DC world, which is, of course, you get Batman from the animated series or the 1950s with Adam West's Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Robin, Batgirl, Aquaman. And then you get the Matrix world, you know, Trinity, Agent Smith. You get Joker, Mr. Freeze, Penguin, Catwoman, Pennywise, The Mask, Flintstones, Jetsons, King Kong, Iron Giant, Gremlins, Animaniacs, Yogi Bear, Boo Boo, the Mystery Machine, and the Scooby-Doo and the Gang, the Wicked Witch of the West, Flying Monkeys. I mean, there's just so much. I mean, I put down a list here so that way I didn't forget. Those are the things that I pointed out, and I know that there's still so much more that I wish that I could name off the top of my head over to you guys. But it was a lot. But the problem I had with this is that it was really hard for me to focus on the game. Why? Because I kept on looking into the audiences and seeing who was there, because I loved getting to seeing these Warner Brothers characters just popping up in the audiences, and it was just fun getting to watch. Now, I know it's not the actual characters, like Bill Skarsgård coming back playing Pennywise, or Jim Carrey coming back playing The Mask, or Danny DeVito playing the Penguin. You know, or Michelle Pfeiffer coming back as Catwoman. No, I know that that's not really them, or Hugo Weaving playing Agent Smith. You know, I know that's not. It would have been great if it was actually them coming back portraying their actual characters. But no, they had a lot of, or Arnold Schwarzenegger coming back playing Mr. Freeze. I mean, oh my God, man. You know how amazing that would have been? I mean, I know that Arnold Schwarzenegger's portrayal of Mr. Freeze was like the worst performances in the world of cinema, but it's just fun getting to watch. It was so fun getting to watch. You're like, hey, there's Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin, even though that's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know who that is. That's Mr. Freeze. But it was just really great to play. And speaking of, this is the part that I really want to talk about in this review, because it got me laughing. It got me at the edge of my seat, and I could not believe that they actually did this. Oh man, the first half of the game, man, they are losing. They're getting smashed by their opposing the opposing basketball players, and in the middle of their halftime, they say, "Oh, hey, look who's in the look who I found out in the audiences. It's Michael Jordan." I'm like, "Michael Jordan? Are you serious?" You can just see this character just walking in from the hallway from the dark, and you just see those Jordan shoes, and when he comes in, yes, it's freaking Michael Jordan, but not the Michael Jordan that we thought it was going to be. It was, in fact, Michael B. Jordan. I could not believe it. It was perfect. It was so perfect. They literally got me at the edge of my seat saying, "No, don't tell me you did not." I could not believe it. If they actually did it, I'm like, I would have been really excited and surprised, but also a little disappointed, because I know that this is LeBron James's movie, and Michael Jordan had his time in the first film, but it would have been really cool to getting him coming back, just to be like more of that coach, inspirational, sidelines advisor to the Looney Tunes of the Toon Squad. Which, by the way, I actually loved the new jerseys. It was a really cool upgraded. I love the original, the white and blue and orange. But this one was really cool. I actually liked the look. It felt very upgraded to a film such as this. They did get to reference the original uniforms. But yeah, Michael B. Jordan, man, I cannot. Woo, man, that was like the best part of the film for me. I mean, the film is really amazing. I really did like it. Is it the best film in the entire world? No. But I'll admit, I had a lot of fun with this. I had a lot of fun. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that Lola Bunny, you know, even though she got an upgrade, you know, they got her to look very feminist in the first film, and they upgraded her, making her look more down to earth, more modern look, you know, not very feminist as she did in the first film. And she's in the world of Themyscira. It would have been great if they got Gal Gadot coming in playing Wonder Woman once more, but Lola Bunny does the obstacle course, like what kid version of Wonder Woman in 1984 did in the movie. So there's a lot that happened in this film. There's a lot, and it's all nostalgia. It's all just for the fans. It really had nothing to do with the movie, just to making it just a great, fun, family, entertaining time. And I loved it. I really did love it. And like I said before, they had so many plans since the first Space Jam movie to make a sequel, but nothing ever happened involving, you know, other sports stars, not just with basketball, but with skateboarding, like with Tony Hawk, or with golfing, which of course they advertised all of that during the credits of the film. Oh my God, man, it really brought me into tears. I really did cry. I couldn't believe it that I cried at this movie towards the ending, because in order for the way for our heroes to win this game, you would think that LeBron James would sacrifice himself in order to win this game. And just looking at the facial expressions of Bugs Bunny, I already knew right away Bugs Bunny is going to take the mantle, and he's going to be the one sacrificing himself for the good of his Looney Tune family. This movie is all about family, and which, of course, most movies do that every so often. Actually, the majority of the time in cinematic worlds. But this really put me in tears, because I'm a big Looney Tune fan. I loved watching the not the modern day episodes, but I loved watching, you know, what it used to be, what it originally was back when I was a kid. So they were just so fun to watch before, you know, the world of Hollywood started becoming very nitpicky about how these characters are very you know, they're very offensive towards other critics and other audiences. You know, they removed Pepe Le Pew from this movie because they found him to being a very a rapist character. And I'm like, oh, I can see what you're talking about, but please don't put it into a big deal. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I understand what you're saying, but it's not really inspiring children to go off and do such a horrific thing. At least not from my perspective. Correct me if I'm wrong, here, but I just think that they kept Speedy Gonzales. I mean, even though that's a reference to the Mexican culture, and people were going to get rid of Speedy Gonzalez because it was offensive to their culture. So I don't know. It's just so much that goes on in the world nowadays. It's just ridiculous. I think the world is just bored. To top it off, you guys, I couldn't believe this when I saw it, but on Rotten Tomatoes, they actually gave this movie a 31%. Now, I'll admit this, because LeBron James, terrible acting in this movie. I prefer Michael Jordan's acting more than I do LeBron James. But the only part about LeBron James's acting in this movie was when he was an animated character. I couldn't believe it. I actually was much more entertained by his character when he was animation. Oh, by the way, Rick and Morty was in this too as a reference. And I'm gonna throw in the Tasmanian Devil too as part of the team. Tasmanian is like one of the most popular ones. But anyways, back to the point here. Yeah, 31% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh my gosh! Wow, that's very interesting. Excuse me. I just had dinner before I did the dinner, but yeah, I couldn't believe it. So for Rotten Tomatoes, yeah, 31%. But for me, I actually like the film. I like the film. Not as great as what Rotten Tomatoes gave it, but I actually liked it enough to where I gave the movie a 58%. I actually liked it. 58% is not a bad rating. It's still very low, but it's still higher than what Rotten Tomatoes gave it. I can understand its reasons, but I had a lot of fun with it. And I think that a lot of audiences out there would have loved it too. I haven't seen other people's critic videos as to stating whether or not they like the film or not. But for me, on the other hand, I had fun with it. It was great returning back into the Space Jam world. In some way, I'm pretty sure they might expand this into something else. You know, if there were to be another sequel, I very hope it's something else soon. Not something as horrific as what Looney Tunes Back in Action was back in 2003 with Brendan Fraser. Yeah, don't do that. That was really, no. And Steve Martin, no, I don't think so. I think Christina Applegate as well in that movie. No, please don't do that again. But yeah, it was a Space Jam: A New Legacy. 58% for me. So that would be my whole review on Space Jam: A New Legacy. What did you guys think? Did you guys check it out on HBO Max or in the movie theaters? If you have any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, please feel free to leave it down in the comments section in the bottom. Let's have an awesome time talking about this movie or any movies that you'd like to talk about in general, because I love to talk about movies, but most importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And don't forget that you can check out some more of my videos. Just look me up at Awesome Joe Movie Reviews on YouTube and on Facebook. Don't forget to click on that like and subscribe button there, you guys. I really do appreciate everybody's support on helping me out with my channel. It's a great, huge personal hobby of mine that I love to do and entertain all you people out there watching this. I can never get enough of talking movies, and especially with everybody out there. So please be inspiring enough to support this channel. I really do appreciate everybody who does, and everybody else who will in the near future. Up next, after when I'm finished posting up this review, I'll be working on The Forever Purge. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about in regards to that film. And so much more to come. I mean, there's a lot more stuff that I would love to talk about with everybody. So please be patient with me. I have a life, I have a job, I have a wife. So please be patient with me, everybody. I mean, I'm only human. I am not a robot. But I appreciate everybody's patience and support, and just keep on living the dream, everybody. I'm Awesome Joe, and as always, stay awesome. Thanks, you guys, once more again, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Bye.
Thank you.